You ready, my little sausage? Yeah, you're muddy. Come on, let's go. Come on. There's a good lad. Go on, little mud pup. We love being outdoors, that's for sure, eh, Wolof? Today I want to share with you a breakthrough that I've had. And it's a major breakthrough. It's a word of the day, stupendous breakthrough. What can I tell you? So let me share this with you as we take a stroll through nature, because I think it's a really nice spot to share it with you. So today I want to share something with you, a way of understanding your emotions and healing and the people who've shaped your life. I call it the emotional onion. And yes, onions can make you cry, but not for the reasons we think, because people, not onions, are the ones who cause emotional tears. Imagine an onion. It doesn't make anyone cry until its layers are cut open, until something slices through the skin. Now imagine that every layer of that onion was placed there by individual interactions throughout your life. Every harsh word, every betrayal, every disappointment, every emotional injury. People say someone's become thick-skinned, but what that skin really is scar tissue. And just like the onion, each new layer grows back thicker, more textured than the one before. But here's a twist. What if every layer that you peeled off was actually a layer that someone else wrapped around you? Their issues, their projections, their insecurities, their emotional baggage. And when you peel it off, when you return their layer to them, they're the ones who cry, not because you hurt them, because they've never dealt with the emotions that created that layer in the first place. You're interacting with people who wear masks, who live in emotional mirrors, who've never had to face their own reflections or shed a single tear for their own actions. When you hand them back the layer that didn't belong to you, their eyes water, not because of you, but because their truth finally stings. Remember this, the onion never cries for itself. It holds the tears of those who've never cried when they should have. I use the onion to explain emotional layers, but there's another metaphor that's just as powerful. And we're surrounded by them. Trees. Let's look at a tree. A tree only grows strong if it's forced to fight through the winds of life. Some winds are gentle breezes and some arrive like hurricanes. But either way, it's the wind that shapes its resilience. The tree grows roots to stay grounded. It grows upwards towards the light. It builds rings, time markers, proof that every battle it's survived. And everything around the tree benefits. Fruit, shade, the birds, the squirrels, the bugs, insects. But not everything that approaches the tree comes to give. Some come to take. Imagine a beetle burrowing deep into the bark, breaking into the emotional centre of the tree, taking more than it gives, slowly weakening the bark, When that happens, the tree must direct its energy, redirect it to growth, to survival. It fights the invader instead of growing fruit. It repairs damage instead of producing stronger roots. And then even a breeze can topple it. That's what happens to us when we let things and people burrow in without addressing them. Emotional pain that is ignored festers. It weakens us from the inside out. This section right now is about life's irritants. And a good example of that would be the pearl. So I just spoke about the layers of tears placed around us. And then by extending our branches too far, we can weaken our roots. So now we address the itch that does not need scratching. Think about a pearl. A pearl starts with just one grain of sand. That tiny grain, that small irritant enters the shell, and the oyster begins to coat it with layer after layer of nacre, also known as mother of pearl. That irritation becomes beauty, becomes unique, becomes treasured. Now imagine the thoughts, emotions and experience that irritate you, the people who unsettle you, the situations that hurt you. These are the grains of sand in your life. Some people spend their whole lives angry at the grain, annoyed, irritated, always scratching at the discomfort. Others look at that grain and choose to transform it, to wrap it in understanding, to wrap it in wisdom, to wrap it in meaning, until it becomes a pearl of insight. From a single irritation comes a lifelong treasure. Life's just like that. Precious, unique, and formed from the things that once caused us pain and discomfort. All of that from a grain of sand. So what do we do with all of this? What lesson can we learn? Well, we learn when we sit with the realization that the onion's layers, the tree's bark, and the pearl's nacre are all forms of protection, growth, and transformation. These layers were never meant to break us, they were meant to shape us. You can make soup from the onion, shelter from a tree, and jewellery from a pearl. Everything that irritates you can become everything that strengthens you. When we're only surviving, we use all our energy just to stay standing. We forget to thrive. We stop reaching towards the sky. It's not the onion's fault for crying. It's its reaction to being peeled. It's not the wind's fault for blowing. It's the roots that weren't deep enough. And it's not the sand's fault for irritating. It's what we choose to create from it. Remember, you have the right to let others cry their own tears. You have the right to let the wind knock down their forest of illusions. You have the right to turn irritants into honours, pearls and wisdom. Own what's yours and back what's not. If it makes them cry, they're healing. If it makes them unravel, they're growing. If it irritates them, They're being shaped into something they've avoided for years. Stop protecting people from the consequences that were meant to teach them. Now, returning to the center, the core, I want you to go back in time. Picture yourself as your youngest self. The version of you before the layers. No masks, no scar tissue, no expectations, just you. Before the world placed its layers on you. Before you were told who you should be. Before anyone wrapped their emotional skin around your heart. See that younger version of you standing on the beach? The beach filled with grains of sand. Some will become pearls, some will become irritants, but none have entered you yet. Now the beach meets the forest, and in it, trees sway together, strong and resilient, supporting each other through every wind. Now imagine yourself peeling off each layer that never belonged to you. Some were put on you with love, some with selfish intentions, some with ignorance, some with control. One by one, you release them. And as you do, feel yourself becoming whole again. Lighter, more honest, more you. Cry if you need to. Cry for yourself, not for those who caused the tears. Get angry, but not at yourself, but at the injustice done to you. Show yourself the respect that you've always deserved. And then, from that place of truth, you decide who gains access to your pearls, your shade, your fruit, your bark, your rings, your layers, and your heart. Because the real you was never broken. You're simply buried beneath the layers. But now, you finally get to come home. That was my stupendous awakening this week, and it only took 60 years. Not bad, eh? I realised that all of that I just shared, I realised all that about 4 days ago. And since the first layer was put upon me was when I was 3, I went all the way back and I gave everyone back their layer of onion, their skin that they laid over me, their mask, their mirror they wanted to see. And yes, I'm sure there will be tears, but they're not caused by the onion, they're caused by the cutting of the onion to release that layer of tears that you've not been dealing with. So yeah, I had a major shift for myself. And as my word of the day, stupendous. We'll finish it right there and wish everyone a layer-free life. Enjoy yourselves. Come on, sausage. Let's go.